Welcome and thank you for joining me today. So, by the time I got everything together, it is starting to turn night. So I'm going to sleep before I head out to do what I'm doing today. But I can show you really quickly some of what we're going to need. So we've got all this glass and smooth stone, and all this soul sand, and that's my supply of Nether Wart. So yeah, it's going to take a while to fully stock up this farm, but I'm planning to do about 8 layers. And the idea is to basically have enough that I don't need to harvest that often, but when I do, I get a lot. And I definitely need the Nether Wart for my brewing situation, because I am going to need some water breathing potions to do anything with the Guardian monument down there, and I need weakness potions to do anything with the villagers. I also need a zombie, but I'll worry about that later. Let's see. So yeah, we have the soul sand, the nether wart, the glass, the stone. The only thing I am missing is the dye. Hey, I could have probably taken off from there, but I ended up taking off from here. Also, yeah, I'm growing jungle trees in the one high space because, well, if you think about it, if you grow one wide jungle tree, that many leaves will likely get you 2 saplings at minimum, maybe 3. Rarely just 1, but you get a larger supply of saplings back per sapling planted as opposed to doing the 2x2s, where you get a lot of wood. So I've opted to go for that strategy. And yes, the project from last time, we're still waiting on 1.15, and then to go out and find some bees, and then to breed the bees, and then start harvesting honey, so we can do honey blocks and slime blocks to automate this farm as well. But if I'm not mistaken, right here, right next to it, Nether Wart. So this is where our Nether Wart farm will be going. And we'll be making plenty of use of all of these cocoa beans. Let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and pop the sign and dig up all of this. Oh, there's one over there. I don't like to let anything despawn. I'm weird about that. Now, the middle of this, we'll be able to figure that out from the grass. Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3. That's the third one. That's the fourth one. Probably that one. Right here. That's the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I go over here, 1, 2, 3, 4. This should be the dead center of the farm. Yes. And basically, the farm is going to run on the principle of, well, let me get the soul sand out. And we'll also set that down over here. We'll just use the side of this, because why not? So the soul sand here basically will center around this. I need to get some redstone supplies. I'll need to go back to get those, because I don't think I left anything here. Empty, empty. Rockets. Wither skeleton stuff. Emergency supplies. No redstone stuff. Yeah, that's something I need to rectify soon, getting that done. Also, I'm adding the fence slowly around the border. Okay, but yes, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, did I measure the exact size of the farm? 2, and then fail to consider the buffer zone I need? I might have to push the entire thing over just a tiny bit this way, which is going to be a slight problem for the... It's going to be a slight problem for the cactus farm, probably. Unless I push the cactus farm back here somewhere. I might have to finagle it in. 5, 6, 7. 1, 3, 5. Yeah. So basically what I need to do is I'm just going to lay out this pattern first as kind of a demonstration, and I'll figure out precisely where to move it because I need room for all the hoppers that are going to collect the Nether Wart. Oh, and oh, I only got 1 stack out. I probably should have gotten more than 1 stack. Oh, wait. There's a little bit of space over here. Oh, that's where I screwed up. So if I do this, come on. I really need to stop overplacing by exactly 1. Okay. You, and you. Eventually I was going to get it. Now, the idea here is that we're going to put the water here that will wash off all the Nether Wart. And as I was saying a second ago before I got distracted, oh yeah, that's a thing. But it's not going to be an issue because of dispensers. Yeah, so this is basically a Zuma's design. 2 wide section here, sort of. Just barely enough for hoppers so that everything flows off the edge, gets collected into hoppers, and then funneled into a chest. Option A, option B would be to have water streams collected. I think I'm going to stick with option A. But again, as I said, I miscalculated ever so slightly because the wall has to go basically here, and that won't work. I need to move this over a minimum of 1 block, which gives the path here. It'll do. So I need to trim these 2 sides and then build it up. Oop, I keep doing that. Why do I keep doing that? We do this. Also, I think doing it this way is going to not interfere with the cactus farm, though there might not be room to walk between the 2 farms. Almost certainly not if the wall of the cactus farm comes to here. I have to walk between over there or past it over there, which I think is fine. Definitely the size I need for the honey farm. So this'll work. And I'll just approach the honey farm from here and the vine farm from probably next to the honey farm or between these 2 farms. And it's a very manual vine farm. Some automatic, some not so much. Let's see. So I can toss these up because this is the exact height I want these. I just heard something funny in my headphones, but couldn't really be a mob because it's peaceful, and yeah, I don't think there's anything down there. So, yeah. Let's see. I'm going to grab a few of these, and I'm going to lay down the outer border for this thing. So, something like this. Then go back around like this. Oops. Those go over the edge. 5. Oh, I know exactly what I'm doing different here. You see, I don't need the corners. Although it'd probably look nicer. At the same time, don't really need the corners. That just make it too bulky. So that just means straight along the diagonals. And then 3 blocks. And then straight back along the diagonals. Because if I include the corners, I'm gonna need a whole lot more glass. Like, at least double. For sure. Because they're outer corners. Well, actually, no, not quite double. Because we're missing that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, yeah, that would actually be 80% more glass that I would need. So, we're just going to stick with this. I'm going to dig the sand up to... This isn't sand, this is grass. I'm going to dig the grass up to replace it with hoppers. And I'll just lead the hoppers over here. Seems like a good spot. Actually, I wonder. Because I could lead them... That's something I'll have to figure out. Do I want to lead them there, or do I want to lead them over to the wall there? Which has... Well, it's got a little bit, but... Be right here. That might be a good idea. Anyway, I need to go get the redstone supplies that I need for this, and to work on building this up some. So I will see y'all momentarily. I'm back, and well, this thing protrudes out in all directions more than I had initially planned for, obviously, from the first bit of the episode. It's turning night again. Always with that. But we've got ourselves dispensers and observers and hoppers. I very specifically limited myself on how many observers I grab because I know I'm not going to need but one per level. I also know the same for dispensers, but on that note, I also know that I'm going to need dispensers over there. So I figured I may as well craft them up. And thankfully, let me just sleep real quick. But thankfully, they can be crafted. Look right here. With the dropper and a bow to get a dispenser thanks to a custom crafting recipe. I, for some reason, thought that we also had where you could use wood, sticks, and string and dropper to do the same thing, but I guess I was mistaken on that one. In any event, this is the first layer done, and as I said, I need to get some glass dyed, which means I need to harvest the cocoa beans, and then I need to build this thing up. So I will join you when I get all of the building up of this done, and we're ready to do the redstone part of the project, which I still forgot a few things that I need to go back and get. Of course. I'm just going to pop in real quick before I do these layers and say that scaffolding makes doing stuff like this phenomenally easier. Because now, as coming along and build up the next layer off the scaffolding up the center. Now, of course, I'm still going to have to come in and do a few other things, but we'll get to that later. But I just wanted to point out how wonderful scaffolding is yet again. And there she is. Well, the inside portion, and not complete yet either. But the soul sand is all in place for 8 layers. Which, I mean, that's a lot of layers. It's going to be a lot of nether wart for each harvest. But it's the back of the island, so it's going to grow so rarely that I basically have to be at my AFK spot, which is going to be that building there for all of these farms to be working. And that means that's when this gets to be growing. And then I could probably harvest it every time after I finish AFKing and then replant it. Definitely went up a bit higher on that than I needed to. Hop up here and grab those couple of scaffolding. But yeah, ooh, I meant to plant that at the bottom. Let me just do that real quick. So, quite literally, we're going to start growing the nether wart down here at the bottom. Actually, let me do it this way. There we go. We'll just plant a single solid line, and then we'll come back, and hopefully that'll have grown. We can harvest with a fortune 3 so that we maximize our yield to maximize the time, minimize the time it takes to get a full crop going. Not that it's going to matter much. We are just barely in render distance of the villagers at this point, so I'm going to need to probably consider doing something with them soon, because they are just sitting out in the open. But yes, at this point, we're going to put a roof on this. And we're going to actually use a nice solid roof. Yeah, you automatically sink down one whenever you go into that because soul sand sinks compared to other things. 1, 2. Okay, I have a feeling I've got nowhere. In fact, I know I don't have anywhere near enough of this for the roof. I'll have to fly back and get some more. But that's okay. We're just going to kind of start outlining the roof a little bit. In fact, I should probably leave the corners open for placing the glass easier. Not quite fully grown there, but well on its way. So let's see, I need to get the observers in. Yep, except I need to do that 1 block lower. Okay, so we're going to dig this out. I'm glad that I watched someone's video recently where I learned that's how you kind of get through this. And then we'll pop that open and build our way all the way to the top. Although this one is going to be a little bit different. Let's see. Dispenser. Yes. Need to start putting the dispensers in. They get to go in at every single floor, like so. Except for the top floor. Obviously don't need one up here. But I do need a block there, temporary. Actually I could just put that there. Okay, something like that. And yeah, okay, that's definitely... I'm going to have to get off on each floor to do this manually. Like this. There we go. And that. Okay, so now that those are in place, you cannot put ladders on the sides of observers? Really? So, the original design... You can accidentally end up, if you have your elytra on, kind of swimming underground. Okay, and now I see why this was done the way it was done. Ladder, ladder. Okay, excuse me. There's definitely something troubling about being able to climb these ladders. But, yeah. So we're gonna... You know what? I don't want to lose those scaffoldings, so... Huh. Got him. All 64. I'm going to sleep and then get the rest of that done real quick. Now, what I realized, because it's been a while since I've even had to do anything regarding the building this farm, is there's two reasons for it to be spiraled like this. One, so that you can stop at every floor, going up or down. And two, I forget. It may have been going up and then going down. Honestly, it would not surprise me if it were something that simple. But yes, at this point, that was all the dispensers firing, which is exactly why no water has been put in yet. But yes, we need this, because that changed the state. But from this point on, it should be nice and smooth sailing. I'm going to need a button here on this one to activate the thing. But also, let's see. That, this, and this. And that is basically the redstone clock that will run this thing off the push of a button. Which, I mean, yeah, in all fairness, it'd be a huge mess to try to wire something up any other way. But by doing it this way, and I need to get the buckets so I can fill the dispensers and then give it a test run. Sort of. I say sort of because I don't want to give it a test run until basically it is tricky to get down this thing, don't get me wrong. But I want all of this to be fully grown, and 4 off of that one. Cool. Yeah, if I test run it, all this progress is lost. So the only 2 things left to do: put the buckets in and put the glass up. Oh, 3 things: get the hoppers in and dig the area underneath. So I'm going to get to work on some of that stuff. And this episode is definitely starting to run long, so I will get as much of that done, and we'll come back and see what sort of progress I've made. Now, you remember how we started with something like 7? Yeah, we've already got a floor full of it growing, plus almost a third of a floor up here, maybe? So yeah, with Fortune 3, we get a decent amount back. Oops. And they just hopped into the hoppers, so I'll have to go underneath to collect them. But I can at least replant a couple of these here. We do get a decent amount. Go down to... I'm going to lower this floor a little bit. Ooh, 6 more. Actually, yeah, any that accidentally end up in these hoppers, I can go ahead and check. But definitely got some plans to figure out how to rearrange these hoppers for their eventual destination, or at least aim them in that general direction. In the meantime, gotta be careful about flying in this thing, because that'll happen. But in the meantime, I've got all the lanterns in place, all the walls, the glass, all these ladders. I just gotta replant, and I'm not gonna put the buckets in until I'm done manually harvesting, using Fortune 3. But otherwise, this is all set to go. That triggers the first time, releasing the water, flooding everything. And then on this decay clock, it reverses and sucks the water back in. Oh, right. Need those in my hand. And this is what we've got so far. Let me actually just land here. So there we go. Nether Wart farm, 8 floors tall. Reason I'm using brown glass is because it kind of blends in with the soul sand. My other options would have been something like red or dark gray or black. And I didn't really like any of those. So I'm kind of sticking with the brown because it blends the soul sand in. And you can still see the red pop through it just a little bit. So that is 2 farms done. Well, semi-done. Once I finish the manual harvest and replant and harvest and replant, then I'll go back and put the water in, and that will be done and ready to go. And I'm glad I'm not noticing any more of those lanterns being misplaced, because that was a pain. So yes, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of the quality of this video, because I deliberately recorded it at a different quality, same frame rate, because I want to see if I can get my edit times down, because the biggest portion of that is rendering the video. Could let me know what you think. Appreciate that. And until next time, God bless.